Welcome to another exciting podcast of Royal Oak Victory Church. We're glad you've joined us. We are a community devoted to God, connected to others, and influencing our world.
Series. And when we sat down as a creative team to kind of plan out and brainstorm the series, we thought that it'd be a great idea if we could hear from someone who knows what it's like to play the game both on the field and off the field. Because not all of us get the opportunity to play the game of life on the field. Most of us play it off. But we thought it would be great to find someone who could share with us what it's like to be a professional athlete. And so we have a real treat this morning. In just a few minutes, I'm going to ask Deron Mayo of the Calgary Stampeders. He's going to come and share this morning. But before we do, we are going to play a video.
Deron, congratulations, man. Well deserved. Best of luck in the off-season getting those touches.
Yeah, sounds good. I appreciate that. Progress is going good. You know what? Injuries always tough, especially when you've got such a good season going. But sort of is what it is, and I'm glad to be back out here with the team and around the guys. So that's encouraging, and I'm looking forward to seeing big things from this postseason.
Well, how about the award?
It's an honor, really a huge honor. I know I'm in really good company, Wayne Harris and Stu Laird, Rob Cote, Keon, and Corey Mace. So it's such an honor for me to win this President's Ring. And honestly, there's so many people on this team who represent what the award is about. So, coming into this season, I wasn't sure if I was ready to step into a leadership role, especially following somebody like Semp, who's been such a vocal leader for us over the past couple of years. So, I've had a lot of encouragement, and honestly, this is the culmination of everybody's efforts to sort of back me and help me along the way. So, I'm really honored, and I'm looking forward to continuing to motivate the guys on the field and off.
Do you expect to be around the team a little bit more now?
Yeah, absolutely. I expect, like you said, like Huff said, to lose these crutches soon and to be on the field a little bit. And I'm going to be around the rest of this postseason and obviously the off season. So this is home for me, and there's nothing better than being around this group of guys. So it's really good to be back out here.
I want to thank you for taking the opportunity to come out today and sharing with us.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you all for having me today.
Yeah, and so it's not very often we get a professional athlete to come, and we're just going to talk a little bit about life, a little bit about the game, a little bit about faith. But if you were able to pick up on what was happening in that video, and again, I apologize, there was really two major things that video was focusing on. Of course, the first major event that the video was talking about was the injury that you suffered just towards the end of regular season.
Right.
And so one question I have is, what was it like getting that? And of course, because of it, you couldn't go into the big game, the Grey Cup. Right. And so how did you deal with that?
Yeah, so I'll just explain the injury. It was 3 weeks before season end, and obviously we had a really good season going, and we were going to be Grey Cup contenders, and I knew that. But basically, I went underneath a block, and my knee just sort of it shifted, and my kneecap jumped up into my quad, so I tore 2 quad muscles and my patella tendon, and I also fractured my patella. So it was a pretty tragic injury, to say the least. But and at the same time, it was the most pain I've ever been in my entire life. And but you know what? Like I said in the video, football, you kind of expect those things to happen. I mean, they're going to come eventually. I always say it's a game where you get there's a 100% injury rate, right? So people are hurt all the time. I was hurting before that, so that just got me off the field. But truthfully, that was a test of faith. It was a real test of faith for me. And how many of us know that God won't put you through something that you can't pull through, right? So it's a real test of my faith, and I had done everything in my power to be on that field, right? I had been in the weight room all offseason. I stayed here year round. I was a leader in chapel. I took discipleship classes and leadership classes. Like, I felt like I did everything. And to have it all taken away from me like that was a real test. So, here I am, and I've got a little knee flexion here, so I'm out of the immobilizer and off the crutches. And, praise be to God.
Yeah, and so it looks like you'll be playing in the next season.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be playing next year, so come out and see me. And I forgot to say something else. A lot of people see an injury or adversity as a setback, but I listened to this guy named Inky Johnson. He was a defensive back for University of Tennessee. He's actually a good friend of my brother's, and he was supposed to be a first-round draft pick. And NFL money, this guy's gonna get $15, $16 million, right? And he wouldn't make a tackle, lost all feeling in the left side of his body. They took a nerve out of his right leg, put it in his left arm, right? Lost all the feeling. So I know it can be worse, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the best things that he said, most people say, why me? I'm out here saying, why not me, right? Mm-hmm. And you can use this, and for me, I can use this as a testimony to others who are going through injury. It's easy to get down on yourself, but I can see myself encouraging guys to sort of push through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks.
Now, of course, the other thing in the video was you received an award. It's actually called the President's Ring.
Right.
And in the CFL, that's a pretty big deal. Do you want to share a little bit about that award and how you felt in receiving it?
Yeah, it's a huge honor to win that award. There haven't been many people that have received it, but the ones who have displayed a lot of leadership skills and inspiration skills and their on-field abilities. For me, it's an honor because my teammates recognize me as a leader, and I've never really seen myself as a leader, per se. I've always, carried myself right. I've always been a leader through my actions, but not my words. And like I said in the video, Jawan Simpson, who was our captain for the last 5 years, had been a verbal leader. And I've never been able to be that rah-rah guy and to give pep talks, but something I did was I set forward a plan, right? And we always talk about purpose, right? So I started taking classes online through the Calgary Public Library, and I also was meeting with Rod Sawatsky, who's our team chaplain for Athletes in Action, and he mentored me on discipleship training, and I learned some things that way.
Yeah, because really the award is, it celebrates leadership in individuals. Mm-hmm. So for you, that came as a little bit of a shock, but then, you were studying, you were stretching and learning.
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't have to be somebody I wasn't, right? All along I was leading. I just didn't see myself as a leader, right? Yeah. So it was nice to have the team recognize me as one of their leaders.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, congratulations to that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, you've been playing for the Stamps for 5 full seasons now, but before you came to Calgary, you of course came, Calgary's not your home, right. And so why don't you share a little bit where you grew up and how you first got involved and interested in football?
Right. So I'm from Hampton, Virginia. I don't know if anybody's ever been there, but I come from an Air Force family, a military family, and I grew up with 3 brothers, and they were all football players. Actually, one of my older brothers played 8 years for the New England Patriots and just retired last year. So football's always been around. But I was always a kid. I had pretty bad asthma growing up, and I didn't really play too many sports. I was quite active, and so you know what? Everybody was good at football except for me, right? So I didn't even want to play. I didn't even want to go out in the yard and throw the football. So I basically played everything but football, and my mom sat me down. It was going into 11th grade, actually. My mom sat me down at the table, and you know what? I lived in a single-family home, so my mom took care of all 4 of us boys. And she sat me down. She says, "Deron, if you don't get a full scholarship, you're going to community college, right?" So for me, that wasn't an option, right? I wanted to get out of Hampton, Virginia. It's hot. It's humid all the time. Like, you walk out of the shower and you start sweating right away. So I didn't want to be there, right? I wanted to leave. So I picked up football. Like I said, my brother being so good, I figured, why not? I'll be pretty good at it, I think. So I gave it a shot, right? And you know what? Here I am. It's probably, 10, 12 years later. Yeah. And I'm continuing to play, and once I come back from this, I'll hopefully extend that career a little further.
Yeah. So it was kind of like a heart-to-heart with your mom.
Yeah, she was honest. She was brutally honest.
Yeah, a firm talk from Mama.
Y'all listen to your mother now.
And so that's interesting. It's kind of like you didn't do it on purpose. You kind of fell into the sport in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. And along with great coaching and good leaders in front of me, I was able to make it this far.
Yeah. And of course, you have made it pretty far. You've made it all the way to Calgary, Canada, and the CFL. And so one question I want to ask is what did bring you to Canada? Because, of course, you come from as you said, a climate that is warmer.
Yeah.
What brought you to Canada and into the CFL?
Yeah, so coming out of college, so I went to school in Long Island, New York, at a school called Hofstra University, which is where I met my wife, my beautiful wife over here, who's carrying my first child. So yeah, I met her there, and yeah, clap it up. She's the real star here, right? Yeah. So yeah, I went to Hofstra University, and once I left there, was 11th grade. It was junior year in college. Coach pulled all of us football players in a room, sat us all down just like this, and he said, "Listen, guys, the Hofstra football program has been pulled, right? So basically, everybody who's pursuing an NFL opportunity, it was all done. Like everybody's dreams were crushed, and nobody could play there any longer, right? So I was blessed with the ability to be able to transfer out to another school. I went to Old Dominion University, which is 30 minutes from my house, right across the bridge, and I played there my senior year. And I ended up getting a call by the Denver Broncos going into that training camp, and I had numbers, right? And when I say numbers, I mean I could run fast, I could jump high, I could lift a lot of weight, I could do it all, and I knew, payday was coming, right? And yeah, so you know what? A week before my pro day, which is where you showcase your skills in front of all these NFL coaches, there were 22 NFL coaches there. A week before, I tore my hamstring, right? So, for me, I'm like crushed, right? I was running a 4.27, I was 225 pounds. I could jump 38 inches off the ground. I could bench 225 pounds 28 times. I knew I was getting drafted in the first few rounds. And I was crushed. So, you know what? That's just adversity. That's how my whole life has been, right? Mm-hmm. And I figured another hurdle to get over, right? And I kept my faith, and I kept working hard. So I went on and did a mini camp with the Calgary Stampeders down in Florida, and ran good numbers, and they gave me an opportunity to come up here and play a little bit. Played the preseason, did well, signed, and then, here I am 5 years later. I started as a special teamer. A guy in front of me got hurt, which is another reason I want to get back fast from this, right? Don't want anybody taking my job. I got to feed a family. So yeah, a guy in front of me got hurt, and I got my opportunity to start, and I've been starting since.
Yeah. Okay, so a big change coming from the U.S. to Canada. Big change as far as playing in the NFL and the CFL. So. Right. So what's it like to adjust? Number one, I guess, to the game, because the game's different, and then of course, what's it like having to adjust to the weather?
Yeah, it's pretty cold. I don't know why we stay here in the wintertime.
I don't know either.
But yeah, the game itself is pretty similar to NFL football, to be honest. You don't really. The field is big, right? And it's meant for guys. Well, the prototypical linebacker for an NFL player is about 6'2", 250, right? I'm about 5'11", 225, right? So I can run a little bit. So it's meant for smaller guys like me. Right. So I didn't have too hard of a time adjusting. I mean, there's some wacky rules that go on here in the CFL, with the halo rule and the rouge or whatever. But yeah, I'm still learning.